This is session 4 of Enlightened, and it's entitled God is Willing. So again, we're building the foundation of that house, the pillars of that house, of the foundation of your life, on the intimate attributes of God, that He's not only a God that knows and cares, but He's also a God that's willing. And so hopefully they were journaling through those verses, quite a few verses that were there in week 1 of their homework assignment. And then in week 2, they were supposed to start journaling through the book of James, which starts putting practical application to some of these theological things. So it's really, really going to be interesting to hear from them. Again, you start out each session just gathering everybody, hearing what's going on in everyone's life. Always important to know that somebody cares, and you never know what's going on in someone's life. Every once in a while, there's somebody with a major burden, and it's important to take time to hear from them and to gather around them and pray for them. You don't want to totally let that take the whole session off course, but we also, sometimes the Holy Spirit will call an audible and say, okay, let's pause and go and minister to somebody. And that happens quite often, so just be aware of that. But this session's all about God is willing, so after you warm everybody up and pray for everybody, let's hear from their journals and hear some of the nuggets that they pulled out of the book of James or out of some of those verses that God is willing. And it's really important for them to hear from each other, because a lot of times they'll realize, gosh, I'm just not getting this, but then they hear someone else and realize they're still struggling with it too. And so it just helps encourage one another, actually, as they hear from each other. And then there's some more verses that start talking about trials. That's in the further discussion, where you as a guide take them through some other scriptures and some other thoughts just to further the point that God is willing, and helping them understand how God uses trials in the life of a believer to help them learn to trust Him more, and to learn that He is willing through trials. And so anyway, these are really interesting things. They're thoughts that are countercultural, but they're also very, very deeply spiritual. So anyway, this session's great. And then you want to go over the assignment, as always, and tell them, here's what you need to be working on. Again, the most important part of the journey is what they're doing. And they're going to be getting ready for in session 5 for the next group discussion. And they're going to be going through, there's a long list of scriptures in this next homework assignment. I mean, more than they could ever look up. But it's divided by Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And so they're just encourage them to go through that list. And if one of the scriptures jumps out at them, to go spend some time and chew in and do some journaling. But it's really awesome. And all these scriptures in these, they're going to learn about God's ability, His power. So it's not that He is only willing, but He's able to help them with whatever they're going through in life. So this is a great exercise. And then in week 2 of their assignment, there's an acronym for how to pray, ACTS, adoration, confession, thanksgiving, and supplication. And again, we're trying to help them connect with God in a more intimate way, and prayer is one of the most important ways. So we teach them a little bit of a good way to pray, think about how to pray along the way. So anyway, so this is God is willing, and you're getting them ready for God is able. So be blessed.